Okay, so we're approaching the turn of the century. It's May 8th, 1797. And now Antoine Lavoisier finds himself in court defending his actions to a new revolutionary government that has taken over. And this new revolutionary government in France is called the National Convention. And the government begins speaking. Antoine Lavoisier, you are accused of defrauding the government and enriching yourself at the government's expense. If convicted, the sentence is death via the guillotine. How do you plead? I plead not guilty. The government makes their case. You purchased a stake in the General Farm Tax Company, a private company connected to the French monarchy to collect taxes. You siphoned money from the French citizenry through illegal taxation of the transfer of goods. The proceeds enabled the inept regime led by King Louis XVI to continue denying liberty to the French people. For this, we charge you with fraud. How do you respond? You only have 1 minute to make your case. Lavoisier marshals his thoughts. His life's on the line. I swear under oath to the Revolutionary Court and to the great citizens of France, my loyalty is to France, not the monarchy. I've worked through science to solve the problems King Louis XVI was unable to solve. From 1775 to 1792, I served as director of the French Gunpowder Administration and succeeded in making France self-sufficient in this critical military material. Through my research outside of Paris, I helped to dramatically increase agricultural yield and reduce the problem of hunger in our great city. I'm committed to France. I'm committed to Paris. I'm a key member of the French Academy of Science, the center of France's scientific advancement, critical for ensuring we retain technological edge over our European rivals. Through my continued service, I can help ensure France's dominance in science and technology for years to come. You must spare my life. I formulated a new language of chemistry. Let me respectfully inform you on some of the progress we have made. We know that mercury calc decomposes into mercury plus oxygen. And we know that mercury calc is just mercury oxide, and that's why the obvious reaction is mercury oxide decomposes into mercury plus oxygen. And we now can officially write this with symbols. The reverse reaction also occurs in nature. Mercury plus oxygen forms mercury calc, which is mercury oxide, and we have a symbolic representation for this equation. And we could just go on and on with this theory of oxidation. Iron plus oxygen forms iron oxide. And for our magnesium and copper sulfate experiment, we can express this reaction like this. Magnesium plus copper sulfate goes to magnesium sulfate plus copper. So magnesium is actually taking the oxygen from the copper. And this is all consistent with the oxygen theory of combustion. We are still working on the details of copper sulfate plus potassium iodine reaction. We haven't figured that one out. We are not sure what is happening here, but we are confident that our grand new framework will eventually provide insight. And please recall, this is a French originated idea. But we know, and we also know why wood loses mass when it burns. The main element of wood is carbon, which is oxidized upon burning to form CO2. And carbon dioxide is a gas. So yes, the wood reacts with oxygen, so it's oxidizing. The carbon is oxidizing, but a gas is formed. So much of the carbon in the wood, which bonds with oxygen, just floats away like gases do. Over a century ago, the Germans put forward the theory of phlogiston. Becher and Stahl claimed that phlogiston is released during combustion, respiration, and metal oxidation. We have proven, and after that, the English took this theory and advanced it even further. But we, in France, have proven that phlogiston is not released and does not even exist. We have formulated a superior theory to what the Germans and English put forth. I humbly state that I played a role in this advancement of French science. So combustion, respiration, and metal oxidation are all examples of oxidation reactions. There are three different forms of the same phenomena. We've explained nothing less than fire, breathing, and rust. A very powerful chemical theory. Despite making a powerful case for his life to be spared and his importance to France and France's continued growth and his loyalty to France and not the king, the National Convention found Antoine Lavoisier guilty. They sent him to the guillotine and beheaded him all in one day. Years later, after Lavoisier's death, the French government did exonerate Lavoisier, and he's now, of course, a revered historical figure in France and worldwide.